Welcome, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome.
If you're just joining us, we're displaying a slideshow for the photo narrative project, Voice of the Malden River, that was created by our Malden youth here today, Frederika, Carlos, and also they have teachers that helped with it as well, and it was in collaboration with Karen Buck, Friends of the Malden River, and enjoy. Welcome to those who just joined. We're just finishing this beautiful slideshow, Voice of the Malden River, just to open our program. We will show it again at the end for anyone who missed the first part of it. So bravo, great work to the students. Carlos, Frederika, Adriana Rice also helped with some of the photos, and Amy and Karen and other Karen, a lot of contributors. Welcome everybody. This is our bi-weekly UMA drop-in. This is a chance to connect with the community in hope that we can help people to share and what was I saying? Oh yes, to help members in the community create and use and share media that can benefit everyone. And we hope that these UMA drop-ins can continue to be a way for us to all brainstorm ideas, connect with each other, and come up with some inspiring new collaborative projects that we can work on. So I'm really excited about this week because we are highlighting a media project involving Malden youth and also the Malden River. So we have Karen Bach of Friends of the Malden River with us here today. And we also have 3 of the students that we worked with this past April, as well as this summer. We have Frederika Noel, Amy Nguyen, and Carlos Aragon. And we also have Janine Reardon from Malden Catholic stopping in, so hello. And we have Karen Buck of Friends of the Malden River. She was our programming partner, took us out on the river, educated all of us. So we really had a wonderful time. And this is actually an ongoing program. We had them come in April to the Malden River to do a river clean, and they created a PSA, public service announcement video, to inspire people in the community to get out and get involved and come join in on river cleanups. So that's how it started. They came back this summer, and Karen Buck was inspired to do a photo narrative project as if from the voice of the Malden River, to show all the beauty and also the things that are more difficult, the things that need to be improved along the river in order to engage the community and as a call to action as well. We're going to get to know our guests in a little bit, and we'll also get to view a video blog that they created about this process of going out on the river and collecting these photographs and learning. So it's all the behind the scenes action that went on. Before I introduce my guests and have them talk a little bit about themselves, I will give the mic to Osa. She would love to do a land acknowledgement and go over some of the housekeeping before we begin.
Thank you, Amanda. Yes, I think it's appropriate on who was using the river we were highlighting and spotlighting. And so let me just offer that, the Malden River and the Mississippi River watershed made up a critical collection of waterways within the lands of the Massachusetts tribe and the Pawtucket Confederacy of Indigenous Tribes, and that the watershed and its tributaries provided food, transportation networks, and opportunities trading among the Pawtucket, Massachusetts, and Wampanoag. And it's just nice to reflect on that. The history goes a little further back than the English settlers and so forth.
Thank you so much, Osa. I will have you guys introduce yourselves. I'm going to give a little primer first, and then I'll have the students and Karen introduce themselves. So I just wanted to say, first of all, that these 3 students are just incredibly talented and curious and just so creative and fun to work with. And they all have their amazing strengths. Carlos is a wonderful photographer, takes beautiful photos and really is knowledgeable about the Malden River. Amy is like director, producer. She's out there filming. She has ideas about how to structure the video. And Frederika can do it all. She's taking photos. She's taking video. She can edit. She's learning how to edit, and she's sending me, these fully edited clips. So she really, helped with just getting that project together. So the 3 of them just make a great team, and they're all invaluable. I just thought, just to get to know them a little bit, if you guys don't mind just introducing yourself, your name, where you go to school, your grade, and something that you took away from this project or something you enjoyed or discovered. Frederika, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Frederika. I'm currently a senior at Malden Catholic, and I really enjoyed canoeing on the Malden River because it really opened my eyes about the nature that's around me, and it made me realize that we don't get out that much to see how beautiful these simple little things are. Like, I saw so many little turtles, like actual real life turtles moving, and like we were like in close proximity, and I got to capture those photos. But I was really sad to see the random tires that were just sitting in the river and the little oil stains. So I'm hoping maybe in the future we can fix something about that and make the Malden River a better place.
Thank you, Frederika. So, so just like already I'm inspired to get out there. Amy, could you introduce yourself as well? So your name and where you go to school, your age, and some takeaway from the project.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Nguyen. I'm currently a senior at Malden Catholic. And something I learned about this project was I actually have two things. So one, I think I was able to integrate myself into environment for the first time. Before this internship, I was like aware of the environmental problems, but actually physically being on the river and seeing all those things that Freddie described, it really like shocked me. So now I'm trying to go out more, and every time I see trash, I always pick it up and make sure I throw it away. And and the second thing I learned is that like video editing, like media, it's needed in every single subject that we do. I normally thought it was just for entertainment purposes, but I can see that like urban media arts, like they help to educate youth and they help to promote environmental concerns. So you can do a lot more with media than I thought you could.
Well, an excellent point and perfect for this UMA drop-in. Yes, media is very powerful for any area that you want to talk about. Thank you so much. And of course, Carlos, our resident photographer. Hi, Carlos.
Hi, so I'm Carlos Aragon. I'm a senior at Malden High School, and I guess one thing I took away from the project, well, I kind of already knew it, but like it kind of reaffirmed it. It's just like the river's beauty. Like it's really nice to go out there and just take pictures, to be honest. And it's a great opportunity for any aspiring photographer. There's so many places and opportunity, and it really tells a story as well. Like knowing the long history of the river and whatnot, and how it's changed over the years. And I just really love being there, to be honest. And that just reaffirmed my love for it, of course.
Thank you, Carlos. Yes, we all love being out on the river together, and I hope some of you will join us if you haven't been out on the Malden River before. Last, but of course not least, I'd love to introduce Karen Buck. If you don't mind, for those who don't know you, if you could just talk a little bit about the work you do on the Malden River and how you come together with these Malden youth to do programming out there.
Well, everyone here has spoken as to why I do this, is to share the love of the water, the nature, the wildlife. And each time I go on the river, which is a fair amount, there's something new, there's something different, there's, changes. It's an evolving piece of our community. So it's very important for me to get people on the river. And so I've always been a water person, and I consider the Malden River somewhat of my troubled child, that needs a little more attention than it gets. And it's calling out for, everybody to enjoy the river. But I would say that the students have said this clearly, that it's important for people to have access to the river in order to appreciate it and then to be stewards of the river. And they said it all. This is exactly why I love doing this. So I appreciate it. And how did we connect? Through Malden River Works, I think, right? With the public meetings, designing the park. You joined the meetings and we started talking about it. And Kathy, who is here, was, she was excited about these projects. And so, it's a collaboration, and life is a collaboration. So,
True.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I believe you also came to an UMA drop-in, and we had a connection there too. So yeah, that's another reason these are great. If you have an idea for a collaboration, this is a great
absolutely
event. Thank you so much, Karen. One thing I forgot to mention, it just reminded me, any of our guests here throughout tonight, if you have questions for the students or for Karen, you can type it in the chat. We will have a chance to get to the questions right after we watch the behind the scenes vlog. And the video itself, I'm sure will spark some questions for you because you really get to see like what went on and what these students were processing when out on the river and what they learned. So yeah, do you guys have anything you want to say about the video before I show it, or should we just have it be a surprise?
I just want to say one thing, that there were other students who have been involved. So if you could talk about Hannah and
Yeah.
Sharif
So Sharif actually was involved with us back in April. He wasn't able to make it tonight, but he was part of the original 3. I think it was first Amy, Sharif, Frederika. So they started out doing a PSA, which you're going to see a little bit of a taste of in this video. So you'll get to see Sharif in the video there. And then Hannah, she joined us in August when we returned to the Malden River to do additional programming. So we gained 2 kids. We gained Hannah and then Carlos, who works closely with Karen Buck. And Carlos is actually a Malden High student. And so he's very interested in the river, and he has a strong interest in photography. There are other students involved as well, and these are just the ones that were able to come tonight. So thank you for prefacing that. And all the names will be in the credits as well if you wanted to see like who was involved with what. So this is basically the behind the scenes vlog. They put together the narration, the footage. Okay.
During our last visit, we discovered an excessive amount of trash along the Malden River, which included plastic bottles, used items, and more plastic accessories that could be harmful to the wildlife.
Trash is kind of our visible regulator. Remember this culvert, those great big gates where the water flows through? We put a trash boom right below that. And a lot of trash flows through the street storm drain system, and it's a direct flow right into the river.
As Karen explained, our goal is to be resilient and improve our environment by working to make a change and protect our wildlife.
Save the Malden River!
On August 3rd, Hannah, Amy, Carlos, Sharif, and I went on yet another adventure along the Malden River. We indulged ourselves in the wonderful nature and essence of the wildlife, and we want to tell you about it. We started off with an introduction to the Malden Department of Public Works and its mission to preserve the Malden River along with its goals of environmental renovations.
So I drove into the lot and I was a little confused because it did not look like a park at all. But then Amanda came and found me and brought me to the boathouse and back, where everyone was gathered listening to Karen talk about canoe safety. I was a bit nervous because I had canoed only once a few years ago, and it was not a good experience for me. I was very anxious about tipping over, and there were a lot of motorboats around, and I was worried that I would have the same reaction this time. But once I had learned to steer, it was fine, and I actually thought to myself that I could do this all day. It's so much fun. And as we canoed around, Karen talked to us about the history of the river and the wildlife. I learned from her that swans are actually an invasive species. I did not know that. Then we stopped at this park to eat lunch, and some new modern-styled structures had been built, which was really nice. It was a good addition to the scenery, I thought. Then we walked around the park for a while. We didn't have enough time to pick up trash, though, but we just walked around and listened to Karen talk about the wetlands. The most interesting thing I think I learned from her was the importance of preserving wetlands. It's important because when water levels rise, the soil in the wetlands absorbs it, which prevents flooding. And concrete obviously does not have that same effect, which means that there's very little to prevent flooding in the event of a storm. After a few minutes of exploration, we canoed back to the boathouse. On our trip back, we saw a beautiful egret sitting in the tree, and we got to watch it fly off. We also saw a lot of tires in the lake, which was unfortunate because they actually leak oil into the river, which was very obvious because you could see iridescent film on the water surface. One kind of cute thing I noticed, though, was that a little turtle had made a perch out of one of the tires. To me, it sort of represented how no matter how badly careless humans can damage the earth, nature will always be able to grow around that.
Hi, turtle.
When we got back to the boathouse, we had to haul the canoes in, then we said our goodbyes and headed home.
All right. So that was the behind the scenes vlog of Voice of the Malden River. For those of you that helped make the video, have you seen it yet, or was that your first time seeing it?
I saw it, the original footage that was sent. I think you sent it to us maybe like a couple of days ago, and I thought it was pretty good. I loved it.
Awesome. Yeah, it turned out really well. And your narrations, like, I don't know how you guys coordinated it, but they work really well together. Anne gives a thumbs up. I also just noticed Karen, he is here. She was one of the UMA interns that helped. Hi, Karen. She's the photography coach, and she actually taught them a little bit of photo editing as well, which was really cool. So yeah, you all did a wonderful job. It's so heartwarming. I wish Hannah was here because I wanted to give like a shout out to her storytelling and her narration as well. And of course, Frederika, your narration and your edits are just, and Amy, you did so much of the footage and so much of the Amy sent like a production outline for us to help structure the whole video. So it was really cool. And Carla, some of your amazing turtle photo was a highlight there. So really enjoyed using all of those great pictures. I would love to open up to questions. Osa, I think, is your internet working okay?
Well, we'll see how it goes. Can you all hear me? I apologize for the snafu there. We do have one question already from Marianne Miller. I don't know if you want to speak it directly to us, or I can read what you said. Do you want to make an appearance?
I could speak it, sure. I'm wondering for the youth, what advice they might give others who might want to do a similar thing in the watershed, other youth. What advice might you have?
What advice might you have? I think, Amy, did you have your hand up? Go ahead and unmute.
I feel like specifically students at Malden Catholic were lucky in a sense that Malden Catholic was able to provide us with the outreach, but I would definitely suggest students interested in environment or the media to outreach themselves and to just email like any company around them, because I feel like most people would be interested in like taking in the youth and guiding them in these type of projects. So I would just tell them to outreach.
Excellent. Frederika?
You can also outreach, but also create something of your own to get more youth involved, just in case they may not be interested in the other outreach programs. So you kind of create your own little circle for you to make a change and for other youth to be inspired to also make a change. Also through research and stuff would be very good.
Good points. And Carlos, go ahead.
From personal experience, one of the main reasons I found out about this was through Karen, and I work closely with Karen with through Malden River Works and the projects we're doing over there, and I just think like community involvement in general is a way to get great connections like this. just getting involved in your community, going out and volunteering, doing stuff.
Very true. Thank you. Osa, did you see any other questions?
Yes,
up?
I see another question. I'm going to invite Marcia to share this. I know she wrote it, but well,
Hi, Avion. Oh, also Avion is here. She helped coordinate with the students.
Hi everyone. Hope you're having a great day.
is Marcia there?
Oh, I just
Hello.
heard.
Yeah, my question was, I'm wondering if the students who did the video, if they think if they showed it at their schools, that it would be a way to get more students interested in working on the Malden River or getting involved in similar projects? And
That is a great question. What do you guys think? Looks like Frederika's thinking about it.
It's kind of a hard question because getting teenagers to do something worthwhile is kind of difficult. Some of them are kind of lazy, just gonna put it out there. But I think if we did, I think there's a good amount of people at our school that would be willing to actually go out, help the environmental issues within the Malden River and even outside. And I think we have people at our school willing to help their own community and even outside our community.
True. Janine's nodding her head. Do you agree? Yeah.
Yes, 100%. Actually, I mean, since these guys got involved in this, we have our MC Green team, which apparently has just exploded with interest. I mean, in just a couple of days, we just had a club fair, and I mean, I don't know if we have like 100 people on in this club now compared to like in a day. I think the first day alone, like 31 new students signed up like in a half hour. I mean, they're ready. We already have a thing planned at Howard Park. I think it is. There's an event that we're trying to do like with Karen. Yep. There was like a bulb planting and a cleanup over there. I mean, we're ready. So yeah, students are ready.
Oh my goodness. I had no idea it was that big.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's amazing.
I guess well, first of all, I was blown away by the video. On so many levels, the production quality, the editing, the camera work, the music, the narration, just high marks. But then the content, I just found myself sort of mesmerized by the voice and what it was saying and bringing you into it. And it was just really, really well done. And I don't say that lightly. I mean it. And I think Marcia's right, like not only showing it to kids, but to adults. And so I'm just trying to think of how this video can be seen in a wider distribution. And the best way to see it is when you have a captive audience, like we are right now on Zoom, or if you're in a place where it's shown on a screen. When you have a captive audience, that's the way this video should be seen. It's not going to play as well on social media. It's a little longer, that kind of thing. It needs that, and I think there's so many events where this would be appropriate to show, whether it has to do with environment or community or activism or youth. I just think it needs to be seen. Yeah,
I think my dream, like in an ideal world, it would be great to have the photo narrative project, on a wall somewhere in a gallery where you can walk through and view it and soak it in and then watch the video, or vice versa. I don't know what the order should be, but I feel like it's not enough just to watch the video, but also to look at the photos and read it and absorb that. And if you combine both of those things, that gives like really a full picture, I think.
Absolutely. And I mean, I think the river, Karen can speak more to this, but the events that the Malden River Works has and the Friends of the Malden River and the Mystic River Watershed, I feel like it should be shown in one of those contexts where appropriate. It really needs to be seen. But I think what you're talking about, Amanda, now that I see this video and I've been seeing pieces, I don't see any reason why we can't, you know, have a gallery exhibit at UMA and be able to show it. We don't know about COVID and numbers, but we can either do another virtual screening if we have to, or have the opportunity to screen it in a larger way.
There's so many beautiful photographs, and I'll share it again, like towards the last 5 minutes, just in case you missed a few. So those I would love to share, be able to share with the community. I had one thing I just wanted to ask, hearkening back to the comment about it being hard to get teenagers to do things, which I thought was hilarious. Avian, I'm curious how your experience was, because Avian kind of went off and she worked with them to come up with an editing plan and get a general layout together. And I'm curious how that process went for you. If you're still in the room, Avian. If not, I'll get back to you. That's hard to tell.
So I will say that what worked for me is the fact that with kids or with teenagers or with people in general, if you treat people with respect, they will treat you with respect. And so my approach to them was that, hey guys, if you don't know something, I'm willing to help you and we can learn together, even though I can teach you more, right? So you just have to come to a level of understanding and find where they are at, and then work together with them. And so to answer the question, if you can ask me the question again, Amanda.
Yeah, like what was that process like working with them? Did you let them lead a little bit? Did you how did you guys come up with the structure for the video?
So how we came up with the structure is we kind of like saw everyone's strong point and what they feel comfortable with doing. So like you said, Amy is a very good director, right? She's good with writing down stuff and trying to create a narrative. And Freddie is a hands-on person. If you needed to do something, she's there and she's willing to learn even on her own time. And do and put something together. So we came together and we said, okay, whatever your strong point is, do that, and then we will try and merge it and make it into into a vlog. Because also that's like some popular thing that kids like to watch now on YouTube is a vlog. So I was like, hey, get with the times, Avian, let's do a vlog, And so that's how we came up with the idea.
Awesome. Yeah, it kind of worked out where everyone has like their focus or their strength or their interests. Caitlin isn't here, but she worked one-on-one with Carlos, and he ended up, if you saw any of our social media where we had the slides of the photo narrative project, he worked with Caitlin and they came up with the graphics on Canva and designed that. So, everybody had their focus and something that really drew them in. And so thank you. Avian is just excellent working with the youth and excellent producer, just the way that she can pool people's talents in that way. So just shout out to Avian. Were there any other questions?
Oh, sorry. Just one last thing. I was going to say also persistence. Like if you keep on reminding kids that, hey, this is important for you. And at the end of the day, you can get something out of it if we work together to do it. And I guess that's how also, because sometimes you do forget. It's normal. We are humans. So just keep on reminding them too.
Yes. Yeah, you did an excellent job with that. Any other questions? Were there any other questions for the students, Osa? Or anyone have a new question?
I don't see any other questions, but I had a reflection on one of the comments about getting teens to engage with nature. If they're put in the position of the activists or the ones who are, kind of bringing it, maybe, to like, some civics, municipal meetings, or to even to younger kids, like they could go on the road and sort of offer little panel discussions, or, so I kind of see the best bet is to rally them as the advocates of change, as opposed to being the recipients of the advocacy, if you know what I mean.
Definitely. That's a great way of seeing it.
So, now that they've gotten a taste, perhaps, of what can be done and what's out there, that you can just spread the word. But I do think that we can get the clubs out there. 100 kids signed up for the Green Team, right, at Malden Catholic, and I'm going to be in touch with Malden High School too. And, just get people out. And if they pick up 5 pieces of trash and somebody picks up 20, that's okay.
You can't underestimate how much young people enjoy like being out in nature, is like we all do. I just wanted
to say thank you. I'm sorry I have to run, but I really have enjoyed the conversation too. And I did see the slideshow originally, and I hadn't seen the video before, and I was really impressed as well. So I really enjoyed it, and I think that nature brings all of us so much, and sharing it with other people makes it even better. And I'm just wondering, is there some public place like the city hall or someplace like that where you could have the video and the slides up? I think they oftentimes have lobbies and things like that. I think that that's one of the other ways besides your own shows, which are really fabulous. So
that's a great idea. Thank you.
And good work.
Thank you for the support as well. Kathy was a supporter of the project as well. I wanted to give you a shout out.
Yeah, thank you.
I wanted to ask a question. I wanted to just give a shout out to Carlos, because Carlos, you have to leave a little bit early, right? And if anyone else has anything to ask him. So that slideshow that you saw in the beginning, a lot of those photos, like the egret and the turtle on the tire, those were Carlos's photos. Go ahead, Kathy.
The turtle on the tire was wonderful, because one of the things that crept up on you for a little while was I just thought it was a rock for a few minutes, and then I looked at it and saw it was a tire. So that was such a lovely message to people to notice, notice things. And I also really liked the information that was given about swans, because actually they think they're so beautiful and wonderful, and they love to see them. But I'm so glad to hear more of the truth coming out about them not being so wonderful, and etc. So I thought the data on that one was good, because I'm a big wetlands fan. I've always been. So
Carlos, I'm guessing you heard that from Karen, or learned that from Karen Buck, who famously does not like swans.
Yes, 100%.
Did she give you all that information? Awesome.
She gave it to all of us.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, that's true. I've lost track of everything that Karen taught us on that day, because there was a lot of information.
There must be some place where swans are good to be there.
In Europe, they're from Europe, right? So they're okay. They're allowed. Asia. Mm-hmm.
Europe and Asia, or Eurasia. And, they were brought here as decorative pieces for gardens and like a lot of our invasives, so the intent was not, a lot of times the invasives are brought, just for beauty, but unfortunately it goes overboard. True. But I guess, I'm not very popular in town because of my rage against swans.
Funny.
It's a good name for a band, Rage Against Swan.
There you go.
Carlos, when you wrote your captions for your photos, did you have to go back and look at notes, or is it all just in your brain?
For the captions, I think what we did was we wrote them up on a Google Doc first. Mm-hmm. And that was most of it. And once we had them on a Google Doc, it was just the design part.
Okay. So you just thought it out beforehand. I was I wasn't sure if you just had that knowledge on the tip of your brain.
No, captions are actually kind of hard to get right because like if you don't like think them through, they'll just end up being really boring.
It's true, and it's challenging to like to keep it brief so you can fit it on the page as well. That's for sure. Well, does anyone have a question? Any other thoughts, takeaways for Carlos before he has to leave us? He's leaving early at 7:15. So I just wanted to say that you know, I learned a lot from just from watching you take photos. Even like I asked him, how did you get such a beautiful shot of the egret? And he said, what did you say? Like a lot of it's luck and just you have to just keep taking photos. You want to talk like how do you like you're on a boat, you're canoeing, and there's a bird flying over your head. How do you do that without getting like anxious or
That one was kind of luck.
yeah.
I wasn't expecting to get this shot. I just kind of tried and went for it, which is true for a lot of stuff in life.
Awesome. And the turtle was easy because they were just hanging out, right?
I do have to say that I was speaking to I don't know, a movie producer, and I said, well, I'm bringing out people on a canoe to take photos. And he's like, what?
It's very challenging.
It's very challenging. How are you doing that? You know, and it's going to happen, you know? And so the results were fabulous. So it's more challenging than we realize. I mean, I never bring my camera out on a canoe.
Yeah, unless you had like a third person in the canoe though, whose job it was to take the pictures, right?
Right. That's another way of doing it. Yeah. But yes, we did 2 per canoe, and people learn fast. Quickly.
I had a hard time getting photo and video on the boats, I could say, but like Amy and Frederika, you guys seemed like you got a lot of photos and videos. So did you find it challenging as well, or did you just like go for it? Were you kind of nervous at first?
I was very nervous to like drop something in the water while taking photos, but I really wanted to take photos, so I did it anyways. But everything was fine.
Yeah, we figured it out. Marion, did we get to your question? I'm just realizing. I'm not sure if we had.
Well, I had a second question if there's time. I'm so fascinated by the process. It was a great result. Oh, you did marvelous work. Taking photos in a canoe is not an easy thing, but putting the whole video together, what I was wondering was, you know, you all seem to have, you know, garnered some skill in doing this and learned a thing or two. And I was wondering if this to all of you is a one and done kind of thing. I did it, like it was great, but I'm done. Or is this sort of opened the door for you to sort of making video statements about environmental or other issues? So I guess that's my question.
Oh, that is an excellent question. I was wondering that as well. What do you guys think? What has it opened? What doors have opened for you, or what are you inspired by? Carlos?
I definitely want to do it again now that I've done it once. Like it was just a really fun experience. I gained valuable experience from doing it, and yeah, I don't think it's a one and done situation. Like once you've done it, it's like pretty enjoyable.
That's awesome. Was that new for you doing social media posts? Was that a new experience, or have you done that before?
Yeah, I'd never done anything for social media on that level.
And you enjoyed it? Possibly? Awesome. That's great. Anybody else? Amy or Frederika? Yeah.
I definitely would do it again. I loved it. It opened me to new opportunities because, as you know, Billy Zhang, I think Karen knows Billy Zhang. He was the head officer for Ecobillity at Malden High, and he would invite me to certain environmental events with his NHS team, and we would do a lot of river cleanups. And I know I did see him again. There was a park in Everett that was opening up. I think it was like the other side of the Malden River, and we picked up trash, and I kind of got to know everyone from Malden High, along with, I think Sharif was there also. And it was just really fun. And I know that there was like a boat ride that we went on, like a mini little boat ride. And it was just a lot of fun. And I wouldn't take it for granted any day. I loved it. I genuinely loved it. And there's so much more work I would like to do.
That's awesome. And I noticed also that you were doing some editing, dabbling in editing as well. Do you want to continue with that also?
Sure. For the editing, I mainly did some voiceovers and I did work on one of the clips for the videos. And I was using Adobe Premiere for the first time, and I was very misguided at first. It was kind of difficult to use because most of the video projects I did, because technically those things are very expensive, like those little editing tools. I would use things such as PowerPoint and outside little editing things from I don't know, from Google or something to
Yeah.
create something. Having like one video editor and like trying to find where everything is and having to compile like all this footage together just to create something was a lot, but like I eventually learned how to use it and it became easier. But like I enjoyed it and finding new features and learning a lot from it, but most of it was very independent and lots of video tutorials, but I got the hang of it.
You did an amazing job for someone who's never tried editing. At like that intro, the Carlos, Amy, Sharif, and I, like that whole little intro was based on Frederika's draft there. So she inspired that start of the video. What about you, Amy? Was there anything that was newer to you that opened doors or felt like something you want to keep exploring?
Yes, so definitely after April, I was super excited to come back for the summer. So I was very happy to hear about that. And ever since then, Karen Buck has been offering so many opportunities to us. So I'm like very excited to go. Apparently there's going to be something towards end of October, beginning of November, which I'm very excited about. But ever since the summer, I've had gotten the opportunities to go and I'm very interested to go, but I've been very busy, but I'm 100% super interested to go. And I'm very interested because, Freddie, you never told me about the thing you went with Sharif. Like, I didn't know it was that, like, it was with the Malden High School as well. So that's very cool to learn about.
Oh yeah. I mean, I did tell you about it. I think I sent you like a video and like some photos. But yeah, I think you did ask like how it was. You should have came. I'm gonna drag you next time.
Okay, yeah. Next time, go to my house. Just knock on my door. Just force me to go.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, this is I think perfect segue to talk about what we can do next. We have some upcoming opportunities that are already happening. I would love to let you guys know about, but also like if you have ideas about some like programming that you would want to do or something you would love to see happen at UMA, we can talk about that afterwards. Our next UMA drop-in is October 20th. So that's 2 weeks from now. That one is going to be at lunchtime. So it'll be 12:30 to 1:30. We like to vary it depending on people's schedules. And this will be a drop-in with local Haitians and media. I think it's based around the article that you wrote, Anne, or it might be related in some way, to discuss ways to use media to spotlight local Haitian businesses, artists, performers, and initiatives. So Osa just told me.
I just think this group might not, because it is during school time, it might not be the one that, yeah.
Maybe for some of the grown-ups. And then the next one that we have is the drop-in on November 3rd, which would be a continuation of this conversation. So that would be other ideas for using media to promote environmental awareness, engagement, and preservation. And that one will be 6:30 p.m. That would be the one that I'd love to see all of you guys return for. And I feel like there was
I do want to invite everyone to the annual celebration, which is next Thursday evening. And I think you all would enjoy it. It's next Thursday. It's open to anyone in our UMA community or anyone interested in UMA. It's next Thursday from 7 o'clock to 8:15. And there's lots of videos. We're giving out awards, Academy Award style. I think a couple of people that are here right now are going to be honored, Kieran and Avion. And it's very media rich, and you'll learn about UMA, and you'll see like 5 different videos or 6 different videos, a slideshow, and it's fun. So it's 7 o'clock. And if you go on our website, urbanmediaarts.org, and click on annual celebration, you can sign up there, register there, and it's free.
So you can find the link on Facebook as well, or Twitter, I think.
Hope you can make it.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and feel free to, I put my email in the chat if you want to reach out about any educational opportunities, or if you'd like to reach out, if you'd like us to reach out, you could share your email as well. But yeah, I would love to we have 5 minutes left. If anyone would like to see the photo narrative again, if you missed some of it, I can play that. It's just music, so feel free to chat. And if you have any other thoughts or ideas about future programming, you can type it in the chat. You can raise your hand. Would love to chat with you guys. But definitely excited about annual meeting and November 3rd, the continuation of this conversation. One last time, for those of you who didn't get a chance to see it. There's Karen on the river. Love that photo of you. That's Karen, our intern, with a Keren. She took that photo of Karen Buck on the river. Another very skilled photographer. These are some of Carlos's shots. Frederika's shot, I think. Type in the chat if you have any other questions or thoughts, or want to reach out. I'll put Osa's email in here too. She also does educational programming. Thank you, Karen Buck, for your contributions of the rainstorm photos as well. Good addition. I wanted to say, thank you to Karen Buck and Frederika and Amy and Carlos who's on, and Janine, Reardon, really everyone in this room. Avion and Karen worked closely with the students, and Osa for helping me facilitate. You're still there. Did I mention everyone? Yes, I think so. And appreciate all of you, and shout out to Sherry and Hannah who were able to make it, and Adriana Rice taking a couple photos as well. I'll be in touch. I would definitely love to see this up at a gallery. We have a couple ideas. Karen and I have been talking, so definitely the gallery. Some of these photos at the end are from our intern, Karen. Very, very beautiful, like, portraits, you know. Had to throw them in.
Wow, those
Yeah.
are really nice.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Just-
so good.
I just want to say I put it in the chat, but to say live that it's been such an honor, and I just want to continue working with these beautiful people, passionate people. It's contagious. Just makes you want to do more and more and more.
Oh,
Thank you.
we all appreciate you so much, Karen. So thank you.
Oh, well, it's mutual.
Oh, and Karen gave you a little heart there.
Aw.
Karen. And thank you, Avion and Karen. They really worked tirelessly with just on the photos and on the videos. So we have the best interns. And Osa, I said thank you to you. I don't know if you were present, if you could hear me at the moment, but I wanted to say thank you for always having my back.
My internet is terrible. I'm so sorry.
No, it was totally fine. But thank you for, you know, championing this program and reviewing the videos with me.
I am so inspired. I want you all to know, all you, you know, all you students and Karen, you know, really inspired.
Yes. And thank you, Janine, for, you know, coming and supporting students and, you know, initiating this. You guys are lucky.
And
Also,
no one's
thank
thanked
you,
you,
Janine.
Amanda. We need
Huh?
to thank
Also,
you, Amanda.
Oh,
'cause,
yes.
You know, this whole thing together, this has been fantastic. I mean, we cannot be prouder of the students' work. Everybody that's put this whole project together, it is absolutely moving. And I've seen some of these little clips along the way myself, but wow, you know, just seeing it all together here with the music and the video itself. Oh my gosh, I'm completely trying not to cry. It was fantastic. Fantastic. You know, it's nice to be outside in the environment after everybody's in their phones and in the computer so much. It just, there's an amazing history in Malden, and we have a lot of treasures in our own backyard, and you students have really, really brought that story to life and showing us how your generation, you know, it's just as important to you guys as it is to our generation, as it was to the generations before us. It's just really great. So anyway,
Yes.
get the tissues. Great
I
job.
do, but I don't know how to give them to you. Thank you. And thank you, Anne, for representing UMA and championing us and supporting. And
Great job, everybody. Great job. Have a good night, all.